Baby, will you hold me when I'm afraid? See me through the danger till the break of day. If there's love, there's a chance for me. Just believe in yourself, you'll see. Out of the darkness, the light shines, burning through the coldest night. And we can find a way. Together we'll make it. With every step we take, moving closer together. If we're gonna survive.
The dream will stay alive.
Welcome to a Raymond Thompson tribute special of Conversation on Eagle Mountain, a podcast about the tribe. I'm your host today, Lance, and joining the podcast panel today is Liz,
Hello.
Sabine,
Hi.
and Tamsin.
Hello.
And it is a Raymond Thompson tribute special because it was announced over the weekend that Raymond Thompson had passed away peacefully in his sleep on January the 15th, 2025. And this tribute will be a celebration. It will be a celebration of Ray's greatest work, which is The Tribe, because it's this work, it is this show that has brought fans from all over the world together to create a tribal community and fandom that has lasted 25 years. And that is why we're going to use this opportunity to thank Ray and to celebrate the amazing creation that is The Tribe. And there'll be a link in the description to Raymond Thompson's bio where you can see his entire television and film history, including his charity work and his family life. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all the fans who have been sending in their What Ray and the Tribe Means to You messages into us. They will all be collated into a special tribute video which will be released shortly after this podcast. So the show and its legacy, basically what does the tribe and Ray mean to the panel? And I'm going to start off with myself, and this is going to be a little bit difficult because the tribe has been such a massive part of my life and always will be. So I'm just going to read out something that I've prepared to better get my thoughts across. Ray created this unique world, a world full of intriguing characters and moral quandaries. At its core, it was a story about survival. But beyond that, it was a story about hope. It was about hanging on to your dreams, about working together with different people, and that, despite your different backgrounds and ideals, despite all the hardships and struggles that you might face, it's only by working together that you can create a better future. And it's that message that I've carried with me all these years. It pushed this quiet, shy, and extremely introverted guy into discovering other fans around the world, in creating a project together where we could celebrate the world that Ray had given us. Together, we created one of the first ever fan productions, The Tribe Sector 4, and I continued to spearhead and create one fan production after another, immersed within this world. With a shoestring budget, a lot of laughter, and even a lot more tears, we dived into the world of The Tribe and everything that it represented, giving fans to look forward to, even in those years when it was difficult to keep the dream alive. But that was the very motto of the show, and I wouldn't change a minute of it, not one, because The Tribe means so much to me. It's a huge integral part of my life, and I'll forever thank Ray for that. The very fact that we are here, 25 years on, is a powerful testament to the show and its legacy, and why we hold it so dear. And I know that Ray will forever be proud of that.
That was lovely. I wanted to say that the world that Ray created in the tribe is something that I've continually gone back to throughout various stages of my life. When I was a young teenager and I first watched the show on Channel 5, I completely fell in love with the characters and the world. It followed me to after I left university, after I was living in London. I went through quite a dark time, and I connected with you guys through my love of the tribe and role playing, and that really helped me. And I formed these great relationships, and it helped me in quite a dark time. And to today, where I'm on this podcast with you all, and yeah, it's been one of those things. The tribe has been a part of my life for such a long time, and he created a really wonderful world with so many amazing characters in it. And I just want to say thank you.
It's hard to describe how much the tribe and Ray has meant to me over the years. So, growing up as a child, it was different than others. It was hard for me to connect with those around me, and it wasn't until I found a tribe and the fandom that came with it that I actually found a sense of belonging. And the people I've met through this show and throughout the fandom over all these years have become like a family. Like it feels like we actually formed a tribe, each of us with all our differences. And if it hadn't been for Ray and his dreams, we wouldn't have had that. I've had the privilege over the years to be able to converse with Ray several times, and there were just so many things we talked about, like okay, how do we manage things with such a diverse group of people, but also in my own journey throughout my autism diagnosis, how does one cope with that? And how do you fit that into your world? And it's, yeah, through all of this that I've became the person who I am today. I guess the tribe is just what kept me going for quite a while, and it inspired me. It inspired me to hang on to the things that I want, to fight for the things I believe in, and to actually keep the dream alive.
It was genuine, sweetheart.
Hmm.
Okay. I didn't know Ray. I wasn't in the fandom in such a way that I ever conversed with him. I didn't. Everything I know about Ray is secondhand, and what I've gathered is that he was human, and that's complicated. But there's one thing he did. He created something so beautiful that's been incredibly integral of my entire adult life. Um, I shouldn't have loved the tribe. I was 20 when it first aired in the States. I wasn't the target audience. I wasn't watching TV, and yet I was hooked. 40 minutes. That's all it took to send me down a trajectory of a love and a passion. In the early days, I was a quiet fan on my own. I shared it with my family. It meant so much to us. We would get together every week, me and my uncles, just to have tribe parties and watch this kids show that was like nothing we'd seen before. We couldn't put it into words why it was special. We just knew it was. And our children were reared on it. My son's second birthday was tribal themed. It had the season 1 promo picture on the top of the cake. He was dressed as Zoot. His cousins were Ebony and Patsy. It meant so much to us. We had this thing that we all loved and couldn't explain why, but it was ours. It gave me an outlet for my artistic passions. I drew. I made fan art for it. I wrote fan fiction. This was a world that I became so absorbed in and adored, and it was an endless possibility of what could be done in this world and these characters. And that was my extent of. I didn't have anyone else to share it with. I have to thank Sabine, honestly, for bringing me into the community. She got me into role playing. She had read my fan fiction. She liked it and wanted my writing. And through that, because of this thing that I loved, this little show that I loved, I met people who have been so important to me and got me through some of the most difficult times of my adult life. When I think of where I'd be now without this little show in a country that I'll probably never visit and only found by chance, I'm just so grateful that for all the things Ray may have been, that he gave me this, that he made something so beautiful and timeless that has touched so many people and brought us together. we may never found each other otherwise. And it's a day of realizing that, wow, where would I be if he didn't have this dream? Who would I be? Who would I know? So thank you. Thank you very much for giving me that.
Thank you, Liz.
A little more somber than I meant it. Sorry.
I was
My
getting
feelings.
emotional there. I was like,
I got a little into my feelings
Yeah.
there.
I was like, oof.
And dragging you into things wasn't easy.
Mm.
Didn't
I
require
fought you
didn't
tooth and nail.
didn't require duct tape, but it was close.
Okay, so yeah, we can't talk about the tribe without talking about the fandom, the amazing community that was spawned from it. I'm going to start by talking about our favourite memory or moment from the show.
Well, I'm going to have to say my favourite memory from the show, because I'm such a massive shipper of this couple, is the Lex Tysan wedding. Admittedly, Ryan and Celine were also there getting married, but for me, I absolutely loved it. I loved Tysan's wedding dress. They all looked amazing. Celine looked wonderful. And it was intercut with what was going on with Ebony. And it was just really good. I loved it.
My number one favorite memory and moment from the show will forever be the tribe coming together after the virus has reappeared and Lex and Patsy have had to be quarantined, and all of them are facing down the barrel of their mortality. They're terrified. They don't know what to do. And Chloe decides in that moment that she doesn't care how sick her best friend is. If she's going to be virused, Chloe's going to be virus too. And it's happening. I'm sorry. And the group, they all hold hands. And it just, I feel like that moment captures what the theme of the show is about. As Lance had said, the messaging, no matter what, we're not going to get through it unless we do it together. Unless we come together, we're not going to survive anything, and it stands head and shoulders above everything that I've enjoyed, every moment, every plot line, every character. That is it. It always comes back to them holding hands, that whatever this is, whatever's coming, we're doing it together. And I'm like so freaking proud of these fictional kids. And I cry and I'm just like, that's right, you're going to do this together, yeah. So that's number one. Nothing else will ever top it.
That is such a beautiful moment.
That was mine too, by the way.
Sorry, Lance.
I was like, oh.
It was in my top two moments.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's got to be the moment where we have Trudy, who has been saved from the Chosen and is finally reunited with her daughter again. Just the emotion of the whole scene and the panicky state he has been in before that. Just that reunion, it was powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm suddenly doubting which one I like more. The one where she eventually got Brady back, or the moment where when Ebony told her that she had found Brady and she was taking her there. That first moment when she saw her child and held her child and thought she was safe. She thought that Ebony actually delivered on her promise and got her back to her child, not knowing what was awaiting her.
Yeah, let's move on to the one character introduced that you still adore from the tribe to this day. So the character that you will defend no matter what, even though they might have a lot of issues and problems, you love them regardless.
You all know there's no other option for me than to say
gee,
Trudy
I
in this fight.
wonder, Sabine, could yours be?
Is it Amber?
I will always defend Trudy until the very end. I mean, the most innocent one in the whole show would definitely be Brady, but I'll defend Trudy till the end because she's been done dirty so many times.
Yep.
100%. Since you have her covered, I'm ride or die Ryan. That's my boy. I won't hear a harsh word about him. I mean, obviously you can constructively criticize some of his behavior, but I won't let you talk bad about my man. That's my baby boy. If Ryan's not a real man, we ain't gonna meet one. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
You have a problem with Ryan, you don't want to be in my friend group.
I mean, for me, it's obviously Tysan. I will defend Tysan. I support Tysan. I love Tysan.
Really?
She's a queen. She is the
She
moment.
is.
Yeah.
She's complicated, confusing, morally grey. She has my heart. What about you, Lance?
Well, it's gonna have to be Amber. It has to be Amber.
Yes, thank you, Lance.
Listen.
I thought he was gonna say Alice.
Alice doesn't
oh
need
my god.
defending. That's
She
the
doesn't need
thing.
defending, yeah.
She's safe.
Yeah, she can defend herself fine.
Alice is incredible, but like the one character that I will always defend is Amber. Like, yes, she is a mess. She is a shadow of what she once was in later seasons. But for me, in the beginning, she encapsulated the kind of heart of the show, what it meant about working together to build a better future. And I will always defend that, regardless of the silly storylines that come later on down the line.
These are all great picks because these are all characters who often require defending. You know, they do require a ride or die fan to be like, hey. Let me
Actually.
explain this character's motives. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't pick Alice, because I was like, who's got a problem with Alice? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not required. Nobody has anything bad to say about her, you know?
Yeah, and same goes for Ebony.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
People still love her, regardless of...
Yeah.
So you don't really have
No
to
matter
defend
what she
her.
does.
Right, but the ones we picked all do require some defending, you know?
Beautifully flawed, but we love them.
Like the show itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to segue from the characters in the show itself into the fandom. So, yeah, let's talk about the community here. So, what have each of you kind of done or observed within the fandom? When did you join? And do you have any fond memories from the fandom?
I was a teenager when the show first came out, in a time where we still just had dial-up internet in my area. And I don't think I can count the amount of excuses I made up to my parents in order to sneak online to go onto the iPorts. And from there on out, my world suddenly expanded. When the people who ran one of my favorite fan forums moved on to do other things, I found a way to step in and help run the Outcast Tribe and later Tribe Revival and Tribe Universe. During that time, I became actively involved in several roleplays, like Chosen of Zoot and Mole Rats, through which I met a lot of amazing people, until one day Lance had the brilliant idea to start this podcast. And now, here we are.
I have to again thank Sabine for making me a part of this fandom. I was always on the outskirts of it, just a private fan myself. If she hadn't, I mean, I might have gone into message boards, stuff like that, but I was always an anonymous stage name. I was just Tribe Bohemian. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew my name. No one knew my gender. Keep them guessing, my motto in life. And because of her, I actually got to meet the people behind the projects I knew were happening. Like, Lance, I knew of your projects. I didn't know you, didn't know anything about you, never looked into it, but I saw the results of your love. You know, I was aware of that stuff. She got me into Mallrats role-playing, dragged me kicking and screaming, because that's not how I did the whole fan thing with other people. That was not something I was prepared to do. But through that, I met Tamsin. I actually started meeting people, actual human beings from all over the place who loved this as much as I did, and talking to them and realizing, I've read your work. Oh, I've read yours, you know? I like how you play this character. I love the way you play this character. I met my best friend in the world because of that. And I would, I don't know what I would do without this fandom, without these people. And Sabine once again swooped in and was like, "Hey, I know we haven't talked in years, but would you be interested in doing a podcast?" And because of that, I got to meet, Lance, and I actually got to really meet Sabine because again, like we never spoken, and have a genuine friendship. Whereas before it was like we were professionals who kind of were interested in the same thing. That's what we were. And now I can say,
Yeah.
you guys are my friends. I actually feel a part. I still don't know everybody out in the fandom. They don't know me, but I actually feel like I'm a part of it, of a community that I was always kind of just orbiting before. And I wouldn't undo that for anything. I'm so grateful for this community and for this family and for the actual friends I made in this community, all because we, loved something as passionately as we do. So, I mean, we've been doing this alone, and I'm like, this is amazing. I love this. I'm so glad I get to do this. It's the highlight,
So I wanted to say that I can't actually even remember how I got into the role playing. But I enjoyed it so much. I used to play Ruby. I got to know all of you. And the other thing I wanted to say was my own podcast. So obviously we're all Facebook friends. And I posted up that I had bought a mic to do my own podcast with. And Maggie obviously saw it and said, would you be interested in coming on to this show? And it was my first ever experience of podcasting. You guys made me feel so welcome. And that's what spurred me on to do my own, really. So I have to say, I have gained friends. I've gained my amazing show. So much, so many creative outlets have come from this. So yeah, again, thank you.
It's so amazing to see after all these years. We've been through so much together. We've celebrated things. We've grieved people we've lost because there have been way too many throughout the fandom that we've already lost. It's just the sense of community is so strong within this fandom.
Yeah.
It's truly one of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, the only thing I want to add to all of that amazing things you guys said is that, yeah, the fandom is freaking amazing. I love you guys, as you know. I think it's just an amazing thing that is spawned from a product. I love how we all came together on the bulletin boards and the old forums back in the day, creating discussions, fanfic, art, poems, everything you can think of. We created it based on this show, and the community was amazing. Like we all came together to do this, and it helped me to meet some amazing people over the years. Sabine, I think I've known you for a long time now, over the years.
We have.
I met some amazing people who are gone from the fandom now, like Shabs, who was integral really to the tribe back in the day, used to run the amazing website Tribe Heaven. And yeah, I mean, so many people to mention, but the fandom itself is incredible, and the family that has been spawned from it, yeah, I love it all. I love you guys all, and wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's like thinking back, even when Cloud9 wasn't around as much for a while, we managed to keep the fandom alive. The community was so strong that even without the people behind it, we still managed to keep it going.
Yeah,
to the point they came back.
I remember
Right.
I literally discovered that, after the websites and stuff had gone down. I, just went to my own personal bubble of being a fan. And again, it really wasn't until Sabine reached out to me that I realized there was a fandom still out there, still happening, and it's the fandom, it's the fans that keep reaching out and pulling people in and letting them know we're still here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone, still loving this thing, and that's how I was able to find that it's still out there, and it's still going. And that was just a beautiful discovery.
Poor cast, though, what we've put them through over all these years. They'll never be rid of it.
I mean, that's a perfect segue, yeah. Do you have any fond memories and interactions with the cast members themselves? So I'm going to jump in and start here because one of my fondest interactions and memories of the cast members is the tribal gathering that took place in London many moons ago. So we had the tribe cast, some of the tribe casts come down and meet in what was the Hippodrome London, and it was amazing to meet other tribe fans who I'd only known their online personas before. Suddenly meet them in person. I got to meet Beth Allen, Amber, and Matt Robertson, who played Slade, and they also played the very last episode of The Tribe on the big screens, and it was an incredible fan experience. And I'll never ever forget that.
That's such an amazing memory to share.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It is. Due to circumstances beyond my grasp, I unfortunately missed out on the cast being in my country during the original Tribe tour. But after several years, I did end up getting to meet some of them in real life. The first one was Callan, who played Mega. I'd been working on getting him to answer some questions for an interview I was doing for Tribe Revival at the time, when I noticed through social media that he was flying to the Netherlands. In what was kind of a spur-of-the-moment decision, I said, had I known you were going to be here, we could have done the interview in real life. Turned out, he was going to be here for several days, not too far from my home, and was happy to oblige. With another Dutch tribe fan, I made my way to Eindhoven to do the interview and honestly had a great time hanging out. I saw him again a couple of times after that, as my friend Stacey came flying in from Scotland several times to get her amazing tattoos done by him. Around that same time, another cast member came to my country. Caleb came here with the talented Costa boats to show their incredible piece Lost Dogs of Winter at the IDFAs. Together with fellow tribe fan Danielle, I made my way to Amsterdam, where the first thing we saw upon arrival was a sign that said Zoot. Following the sign, we found two things: the screening room for Lost Dogs of Winter and a VR experience in which one could walk through a city. Needless to say, techno jokes were made when we later had Caleb walking around with those VR goggles on. Other than these, I've had the luck of speaking to some of the cast online over the years and the enormous privilege of being in contact with Georgia and her mom throughout her journey as she grew up from being baby Brady on the show into the amazing mother she herself is today.
I never got to go to any cons or anything like that, being here in the States. I do believe they toured here maybe twice, but I was unable to go. So due to my lack of interaction with the fandom, I've never really had any important or worthy to talk about interactions with the cast. So the two I have are incredibly minor, and one is actually darkly amusing. One, I made some fan art of Alice for our Facebook page. And Vanessa actually saw it and took the time to comment. And that meant a lot to me. I just thought that was really cool that she would even bother. You know what I mean? That was just really nice. And just gave me a thrill. Like, oh my gosh, Vanessa, she saw the work I made just because I love her character so much and actually messaged us. And, I was like, that's really awesome. And the second one, I had Meryl Cassie had accepted my friend request on Facebook, which was cool. And then I got hacked. The hacker sent this annoying message to all of my contacts about somebody dying. And so the only message I've ever received from Meryl Cassie was her saying, "You're sick, you know that?" Blocked. Which, totally fair, okay? If you got a message like that from one of your numerous fans, smart thing is to block them. But I was like desperate to want to be able to tell her, I swear to God, I would never send that to you.
We did defend you, though.
So I just hope, in some universe she listens to this. She knows that never, I swear to God, I would never do that. I did get hacked, and yeah.
Yeah, but that's still really, I mean, that is very funny. That's a great anecdote.
And of course, I can't let this moment slide without saying a massive thank you to the cast and crew who've been such a huge support of our projects over the years. Special shout out to Matt Robertson, who played Slade, and Joseph Crawford, who played Daryl. They were both part of our Fractured Alliance series. And also to Jennifer Jewell, who played Ellie. She was a part of our Morak Chronicles project. But also to all the cast who just been such a massive support and who took the time to be a part of the Trial.co.uk's interviews that have taken place over the years. So yeah, once again, a massive thank you to them for like embracing and appreciating the fandom that has been created because of the tribe. Yeah, I just want to close by just remembering a phone call that I had with Ray. Because many moons ago, I won a competition on the official forums for a phone call with him. And he just was such a lovely person. He reminded me how inspired he was by what we were doing to create these fan productions. And he said he himself felt inspired that we could create this whole world and characters based on his product. And he loved that it had become gotten a life of its own and continued on creating new stories and histories and developments. And he said he felt inspired by that and he couldn't wait to see what else the fandom could create from his work. And it was such a lovely sentiment, and I just will always remember the positivity that he had for the fan work that we did.
I'm just sitting here thinking, the amount of things we were allowed to do in the beginning, it's...
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think any other show or producer would have let us get away with that much and encourage us to do so much, give us permission for things.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that, sure, we had our arguments, but there's so many things that we got permission for by simply asking. And Ray would instantly go, yeah, great idea. Let me know what you do with it. Show it to me when it's done. You know, the support he gave us, it was so encouraging.
Mm-hmm. That brings this special episode to a close. Thank you very much to the panel, and we'll see you next time for another episode of Conversation on Eagle Mountain. Until then, bye.
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 Bye.